Hey, welcome back to Devlog number 2 for Defenders for Hire. If you haven't seen the first one already, I would recommend checking it out. It kind of goes over the basics of what this project is and what I've gotten on it so far. And I'll probably put that in that little card thing up top. But if you've already seen it, or you've seen some of my work on Twitter and Instagram, you probably know what this video is going to go over. And that's mainly the first enemy, the Braincase. And I've got 2-3-ish more things to go over as well, so be sure to stay till the end. So starting with the ideas and design, I think it's very clearly based on the bubbles from The Legend of Zelda. But I wanted to design this enemy to fill a different purpose. I wanted it to be more agile and more of an overall threat, but not necessarily in terms of it attacking players. And I'll go over some of the, what I call, actions it can perform. I also started with this enemy because I felt it was the easiest to model and animate, even though it may not have been the easiest to program. And as you can see here, this is one of the earlier videos I took of it as I was getting it implemented, and therefore some of these things may change or might have changed already. It's fairly easy to get up and running. Now in terms of programming and pathfinding, however, that's a much different story. Fortunately, I was able to get it fixed, and that's not quite right. Okay, I did actually get it fixed. There's a curling action around the player that will be followed up with a dash through the player. Around this time, I also took a small break from the AI to implement leg animations while walking, and that's also not quite right. I don't think legs are supposed to work that way. No, that leg's definitely broken. I'll definitely be coming back to that later. Animation layers and blending is pretty hard to get right. Around this time, I also put a video out on social media showing the actions that it can take and what the Braincase can do. And then I deleted it. Scrapped it entirely. The Braincase, that is. Well, not really. The first take was me getting to understand pathfinding and A-star. And once I finally had a foundation that worked, I knew it needed to be better. So I restructured how its actions worked and were formatted, and also gave it a lot more flexibility on tweaking it in the inspector to get it just right. I also took this time to include a handful more animations. I really think they help bring the Braincase to life, kinda. I don't think it can get more alive than it is right now. You can also see its other two primary actions, that being the dash, in which it targets a player or just an entity in general, aims itself, and then dashes through the target to a point past it at a certain distance. This is primarily going to be used for damaging the player, but it's not going to be the most common thing that it does. I would categorize the Braincase as more of a supportive enemy, because the primary thing it's going to be doing is actually attaching to other enemies and granting them whatever status effect they have on them. So for instance, a red Braincase could be attack, a blue Braincase could be defense, and so on. I wanted the Braincase to become more of a secondary target that's more annoying than detrimental it is to the player's current situation. It also, of course, has a generic follow action that it can take that can be targeted at any object whatsoever. And one of the last things I had done was tweaking the speed of some of the actions, those being the curl and the dash. The curl will increase in speed as the Braincase goes along its path, and the dash, towards the end of it, will decrease in speed. To me, along with its animations, it looks and feels a lot more fluid. I'm also still working on getting a wandering navigation set up properly, because once I have that, I can fully plug everything in together, and it'll be able to act entirely on its own. And now for the obviously most anticipated feature, the character customization. The character custom, that's also broken. Wow, the height of fashion, amazing. Wow, the peak of humankind, wow. And this of course was also a process to get working, and as you'll be able to see, the process isn't fully done. For the most part, the programming of attaching the items to the player is functional. Where it starts to fall apart is the modeling of the items themselves. I would just recommend not looking at the boots. But hey, to go from here to here, I think that's pretty good. Now, it took me a few tries to get right. You saw with the first example. Here's exhibit number 2. Wow, the height of fashion. Amazing. The peak of humankind. Now exhibit 3. And then I finally got the meshes weighted properly. Almost, at least. And now there's the fundamentals for customizing a character. Just ignore my lackluster art skills. And I think those are the biggest things that I've accomplished these past few weeks. Unfortunately, it's not a lot. A lot of my time is still taken up by working a full-time job. But that's where my Ko-fi page comes in. I'm really wanting to start supporting Ko-fi more. Start hopefully becoming a full-time game developer. Working over 40 hours a week at essentially a call center type of job doesn't really leave me with a lot of time to do this. But when I do get to do it, I have a lot of fun and watch my project grow. And I really want to do that more. So I think I am going to start leaning more into Ko-fi, and if people would prefer, Patreon as well. And I'm going to start putting exclusive videos up there detailing more advanced and behind the scenes things, such as the weapon system and going into how weapons are created, what features they can have, how they can be customized, or the in-depth workings of individual enemies, behind the scenes concept art, playable demos, playable showcases, things like that. It not only gives me a way to give back to people that support me, but also as a way of letting people directly interact and get the chance to more directly influence the project, as they'll be able to see and experience a lot more. So if you do want to support me and get access to exclusive behind the scenes content, my Ko-fi link will be in the description. And if you're wanting to stay up to date on the project, you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can turn on notifications. There's also Twitter and Instagram you can follow. And I have a Twitch that hopefully I'll be streaming on sometime soon. And if you like the video, drop a like down below. That feels weird to say. Drop a like down below. Also comment, let me know what you think of the enemy, what can be improved, what you like, any comments, criticisms. I'd love to hear them and I'd love to interact with you guys. So thanks for watching. See you next time.